so I think it's recording. I don't know because I can't tell. But all right, so we're at school. We're doing this. We just finished an LHS meeting. So thank you to the 3 or 4 members of class that showed up. You guys are rock stars. Oh, Mark might need a little help. Okay, no, we've got it. Everything is good. The class is going to look different when you come in tomorrow. Well, maybe not to you, but quite a lot to me. So your homework was 476 to 482. Um, we had in the previous lines, guys, if you looked up here, actually, you can't look up there. It's on the previous line. All of this is about the same guy. And do you guys remember who was the guy that we were talking about? Yeah, his son, Neoptolemus. In case you can't hear, here, let's see. Can you guys, oh, no, that's all wrong. There's Christopher and Shay and AJ. They're going to be participating. Boy, that was a terrible decision on my part. It's awful. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're here. And we're still talking about Neoptolemus, and he was such a big dude that they had to devote like 20 lines to him. So he's still being talked about here. All right, so he's going to be Una. Do you guys remember what Una means with a long A? Together. All right, good job. Everyone who didn't say that, it means together. All right. So literally, it's probably like the ablative of one, so as one. So together, and when you have the una, it's generally saying like there's going to be a group of people coming together. So we're talking about the people now attached to Neoptolemus. So together, Ingens, what's Ingens? Oh boy, together, okay, with the huge, that's Ingens. I'm pretty sure I made Ingens one of your vocab words. Didn't I? Ingens Periphas. So together with the huge Periphas. And thanks, Harlan. I really appreciate it. Okay. And okay. Oh God, where are we? And all the Skyrian youths. Hubes means youth. Okay. Yeah. I heard you snigger. All the this goes back to Achilles, by the way. All right, so let me add that like that. So when we talk about this Scyria here, we're referencing oh my gosh, it's Thessaly or Thrace. I'll have to look it up. I think it's Thrace. I'm pretty sure it's Thrace. I'll double check. So we're talking about that same place that Achilles was from. All right. And that goes back to that. So we have these two people. Oh, wait, sorry. We're up here. Oh, wow. I skipped a whole line and no one stopped me. Okay.
Those don't look like genitives.
They aren't. Oh, okay, so I'm sorry, guys. Should I start the recording over? No, we're just going to keep going. All right. So una means together. Let me just read this out. Together with the huge Periphas and the charioteer or the driver, the agitor, literally the one driving, or the driver of the horses of Achilles. So we have Achilles' charioteer here. And as a Bronze Age warrior, it was very important that when you're driving in the chariot, you had to be free to kill people. And so you couldn't have a hand taking up with driving horses. So you would have someone else drive the horses while you killed people. But the driving horses guy was also responsible for trying to keep you alive. So it was a very important job. And you had to be super, brave to get it. But it was kind of a weird job because your job was basically to allow the person in the back seat access to killing more people. I guess it's like driver and shotgun in the old school classic mobster movies. Okay, so Achilles was in shotgun and this guy was the driver. So Neoptolemus, okay, that's from the previous lines. Una together, understood with huge Periphas. All right. He's just another Greek general. And the chariot driver. Oh, I misspelled chariot, didn't I? Is there 2 R's in chariot? Does it matter? Are you sure? Okay. And the chariot driver, actually, I guess I should just say, and the driver of the horses of Achilles. Or of Achilles' horses. I don't care, however you want to do that. Okay. So that's this line. And we're going to get his name, Armigeter Automeon, and the armorer Automedon, together with all of the Syrian youth. Okay, and that takes us back to Achilles as well. So what you're basically seeing is that Neoptolemus not only was the son of Achilles, but he was like the de facto second in command after Achilles, because Achilles had his own group of people and they respected him and they followed him obviously from wherever, and they weren't likely to follow anyone else. In fact, if you've ever read the Iliad, then you know that Achilles, dropped out of the Trojan War for a while, and all of his troops followed him, not Agamemnon, which led to some serious problems later on. Okay, so those troops have transferred allegiance from Achilles to his son Neoptolemus, as we're seeing. That's really what these lines are telling us. So the armored one. Thanks, Mark. Have a good one. Everybody's being so quiet because I'm on tape and I'm like ready for you guys to participate. The armored one. Okay, Otto Maydon together, and he's also together with all the Skyrian youth. Okay, again, going back to Achilles. So the first two lines, 476 and 478, are basically just saying Neoptolemus has the right stuff to take over Achilles' army. All right. So they are all there and they advance. Okay. So they all together, all these people, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different groups, individuals, along with Neoptolemus, and they are all Succeedant. They are all advancing tecto to the roof. Tecto is also often synecdoche. Oh, synecdoche. I think that's right. Synecdoche. And oh dear. There you go. Synecdoche. Synecdoche means you use part for the whole. So it says roof, but what it means is palace. They don't mean you're working to an isolated roof. It's the whole palace. So they advance to the palace. Okay. Now you have the et here. Remember, et's going to connect two things that are the same. And while it can be difficult in this case, the two verbs at either end of the line are a clue that those two verbs are sort of sandwiching this line, which means the et's probably connecting the two verbs. We notice that they're both third person singular, which also helps us make that choice. So not only are they approaching to the roof, they are also jactant. Guys, remember, what does jactant mean? And they throw flamas, flames, ad culmina, to the top. Okay, and they throw flames to the top. This also gives us this beautiful A, B, B, A arrangement or word picture, because you see how Succinant, they're advancing on one side and they're throwing flames towards the roofs, everything sort of culminating in the middle of the line. Okay, and they throw flames. I guess you could just say fire at the top of the palace, at the roof, to the top. All right. It basically means they're burning everything down, right? Remember, again, Bronze Aged warriors, while the outer walls may have been in stone, probably inner homes would have been made out of wood because it was cheaper and more, honestly, light. Okay. So we're there. Okay. Questions? None from the audience. Okay. No questions from the audience. And no one else is asked to be admitted. I pointed this out, and apparently you do get notifications. So who knows? Oh, okay. So Shay has her notifications turned on. So if your notifications have been turned off, like, do you have your notifications turned off, Christopher?
No,
Okay, most of them on.
I didn't receive it, so I don't know.
Okay, so we'll see. Okay, we'll see. All right. Here we go. He himself, and this ipse though is going to be referring back to the one and the only Neoptolemus. Although did they call him Pyrrhus in this one? Did he start off as yeah, Pyrrhus? Okay, so Pyrrhus, who's also Neoptolemus. So he himself, all right, and it's nice that we start with this new one. And you notice you have all of this. You have a couple of ablatives. We have this prepositional phrase. We have an accusative here. And we get all the way down here before we get to the verb. And this actually isn't as bad as some of the other things that Vergil has done to us. And you guys remember that the quay always acts as sort of a roadblock. And this kind of works out. So he himself is going to perumpit. Sorry. Is basically perumpit means to burst through. It's like an explosion, violent action. This is like that Kool-Aid Man commercial from whatever 80s where he like bursts through the walls. I don't know if they still have that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. All right. So he himself, and you could put the inter primos in, and it's like most prepositional phrases, you can kind of fit it in wherever. This inter means among, primos, the first. So what we're hearing is that Pyrrhus or Neoptolemus was among the first ones to perumpit, to burst through the walls of Troy. And this is, by the way, the final sacking of the most inner wall of Troy. So I told you guys the city had layers. This is the very last layer. It's the palace. It is their holy grail. Once it's down, there's nothing left. So by bursting through this final hurdle to the destruction of Troy, Neoptolemus is sort of stamping his name on, I destroyed Troy. So he himself burst, I guess you can do this one, among the first, we could say among the first ones to do this, burst through, okay, burst through, um, and it's like, it doesn't even say like perumpit, like rush, I guess maybe rather than rush is in or perumpit, like burst through, the dura limina, dura, does anyone remember what dura means? We get durable, dura, hard, rough, firm, limina, limen. Oh God, we've had this threshold. There you go. Thank you. Was that AJ? Did he say threshold?
Yeah.
That's AJ. Thank you. All right, someone knew it finally. All right, he burst through the hard threshold. Okay, man, crew just lost their minds. Through the hard threshold. What does that mean? All right, hard threshold. What it means is like it's the final door. So it would have been a reinforced wood, bronze hinges, because it was a palace door. It would have been big and ostentatious. And he's bursting through it. And he's not just bursting through it, but he's got a bipenny corrupta. Bipenny is a weird word. It means double-headed axe. And these were very, do you guys spell axe with an E?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, see, I spelled axe with no E, and everyone tells me I'm wrong. So double-headed axe. So with the corrupta having been snatched up, double-headed axe. So he's got a big double-headed axe. With the seized double-headed axe. All right, so he's running through walls, tearing down doors, and swinging an axe like a crazy person. Now this word is kind of weird here. This wellet, because it kind of looks like wellet with one L, but it's wellet with two L's. So it doesn't mean to wish. This means he tears. Wellet is a weird one. So he tears out, and you would expect there to be a direct object. And look at that. He does. It's right there. It's postus aeratos. All right, what does postus mean? Comes from that. It comes from that. So this is like the having been placed like doorposts.
Yeah.
So it's he tears, sorry, and he tears and they're not just regular doorposts, they're artos, they're bronze doorposts. A cardine, from the hinges. And he tears the bronze doorposts from the hinges. All right. So he literally is so massive, he just tore a door off the wall. It's not a little door, it's a massive door, and it had bronze hinges, and it didn't matter. He just ripped that sucker right off the wall. This is crazy, right? Um, and now, right? And notice there's a little, this line actually, if you tried it, I think is fairly manageable because of all of the little like ways to break thing up. So you have the quay here. We have the semicolon in the quay here. And now, right? Sorry. And now, Ka Kawawit, okay, he hollowed out the Fema Rubore, um, uh, the solid oak. He hollows out the solid oak. That's Robore, by the way. Oh God, Robore. I can't even say it. I'm done. The solid oak, and he hollows out the solid oak with exquisa trabe, with a cut out beam. And what that is a battering ram. Okay. So he tears the bronze doorpost from the hinges, and now there's like a giant solid oak. And I don't know if you guys have ever tried to move oak, but solid oak weighs a ton and stuff lasts forever. It's like concrete. And he just pounds through the doors with a battering ram. Okay, this is not normal even for the Greeks. This is crazy. So again, we're talking about these giant, huge heroes that were like 20 feet tall with, muscles like the Rock on steroids, and I don't know what else. Okay. So he hollows out the firm oak with a thing, the battering ram, and dead it, he gives a ingentem fenestram, a huge window with a wide mouth. And look here at that beautiful A arrangement with the deadit in the middle. You can almost see the mouth of the door right there in that line with the verb deadit punching through the wide ore with the ingentem fenestrum on either side. Bye, Christopher. Thank you again for your help. Okay. It's such a cool line, right? And he gives a huge window. And notice it's a window, not a door, too. So they're also mentioning that he didn't while he's ripping stuff off of hinges, there's like pieces of the door remaining, and they're like running through the little, well, I guess it's not little, the massive damage, whatever hole that he's created. And he gives a huge window with a wide mouth. Okay. So there you go. We've got a relatively straightforward couple of lines. Given the stuff that we've had before, this wasn't too bad. It came across for me relatively okay. Okay, I know it's me, but even I still think this was fairly accessible. This wasn't as bad as some of Vergil's lines. There's been a lot of vocab that you guys, if you've studied, you've noticed like limina we've had before, ingentem we've had before, dedit you guys have had before, ora you've had before. Jactant you've had before, flamas, tecto, culmina. These are all words that we've had. They're high frequency vocab words. So hopefully some of that made sense. Um, anyway, we've got a quiz tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. We're also having breakfast tomorrow, so don't forget to bring your breakfast foods. And I will see you guys in the morning. All right, let me see if I can turn this off. I don't even know where my mouse is. Oh my gosh. Hold on.